Okay, so I'm going to briefly show you how to translate a figure if you need to see it or you need a refresher. Um, just to remind you, remember that translation is a type of transformation, right? A translation is a transformation that slides a figure, okay? So just remember that we are doing the action of sliding. Um, and whenever you translate a figure, at least in this class, we're going to be translating on the coordinate plane. So here's my coordinate plane. I have this figure here, and I'm just making this up, by the way. Let's say we have this triangle A, B, and C. Here's my triangle ABC. Whenever I ask you to translate a figure, I'm going to use this kind of notation, right? Something like here. For example, I want you to do this action for me. Let's see. Let's do -5, -2. Um, this is the directions I'm asking you to do, okay? And each part of this direction is an action. For example, whenever you see the T, I'm asking you to translate. That's what that T means, translate. I'll zoom in a bit. This is telling you what are you translating. So in this instance, I want to translate figure ABC. And as you can see, that's the only figure in our graph either way, so that's what we're going to be translating. This is a tricky part, and this is the part that usually gets most people confused. If I were you, I would go back to the notes that I uploaded on Schoology, where I went over how to read this, okay? The first number is always your x-coordinate, right? And your x-coordinate is your left and right. If your x-coordinate is negative, think about your x-axis. If you're negative, you're going to the left. So this is telling you that you're going to move to the left 5 times. So I'll write it in words if it kind of helps you out. I'm telling you to translate figure ABC 5 units to the left. But we're not done because we have another number here. This is your x. This makes this your y. And think about your y-axis in the same thinking. This is a -2. On our y-axis, if we're negative, we're going down. So all of this notation is really just telling us translate figure ABC 5 units to the left. And we went to the left because that's negative, right? And then after you translate 5 units to the left, you're going to move 2 units right. Oh, just kidding. 2 units down. Don't listen to me. And again, if I were you, if this is still confusing you, I would have the notes that I put on Schoology, where it clearly explains to you that if your x is positive, you move to the right. If your x is negative, you move to the left. If your y is positive, move up. If your y is negative, move down. In our example, our x and y are actually both negative, which is why we went to the left and then down. I mean, all the examples are going to be different. I would refer to this whenever you do these things. This is the hardest part. Once you figure out what they're asking you to do, the rest is just you following those directions. So I'm going to use a different color for this. Let's use, like a cyan color. Let's do that. When we translate, we're translating all of the points in a figure. You can start off with whichever one you want. I'll start off with A. As we wrote up here, I want to move 5 units to the left and 2 down. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab A and I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my -5, right? I moved 5 to the left. After I move 5 to the left, I'm going to move 1, 2 down. That's my translation movement. We moved point A. You have to make sure that you actually label this correctly. This is still point A, but we translated. Remember that we use this notation, the prime notation, to let us know that this is our new point, the one that we translated. Don't be trying to do anything else that's weird. You're going to do the same movement for all of your points. For example, I'll use a different color so that it doesn't mess you up. I'm going to grab B and do the exact same thing. From point B, I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the left, and 1, 2 units down. This is now my B prime. And do the exact same thing with letter C. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the left, and 1, 2 down. That is my C prime. The very last thing that you are going to do is you're going to connect your points. And wow, this is the translated figure. Mine's look a little different because I didn't use a ruler. But you should note that these points or these two figures should be congruent. If you notice right off the bat that they're not congruent, then you did something wrong and you need to go back. See how like now if I do it more neater, you can clearly tell that they are actually congruent figures. And let me show you with patty paper so you see it. If this is tracing paper, by the way, if I were to trace this triangle and slide it this way, do you see how they match up? They're congruent. And I guess this is a visual way for you to see that this is what it means when we translate. We grab our figure and we just slide it down. Whoa, that's so cool. I know. Very like so the rest is just you using the correct notation. If you remember clearly, let me get my highlighter. Wow, where are my highlighters? It's cool. I guess I don't need highlighters. Oh, I have this one. This is the figure that we started off with, right? This is the one that we actually began with. Whichever figure you start off with, we label that your pre-image, Yes, label your pre-image. And then the new figure that we make up after we translate, we would call that your image. I put an exclamation point because I'm excited about it. You don't need to put an exclamation point. Yeah, that's how you translate a figure. It's the same thinking. It just really depends on what movements you're doing. But these points here let you know all of your movements. I'll try to do another video if this is more requested. But for those of you guys who need another example or want a resource to have you like pause and rewind, I hope this helps you. So yeah, this is Miss Lopez signing out.